Alright, look at this picture. Kind of weird looking fella. Anyway, I found this, looks like a scroll. Looks like some kind of scroll, ancient, medieval. I love the medieval stuff. It's just got this nice feeling. It's all in like Latin or Ye Old English. And it's got these kind of cool pictures and such. Anyway, this one I found, and as you can see, it's a flask with a larger space here, so we can see the main space is all this. It looks like dirt. I imagine it's macerated or like grinded up herbal material. I'm not really sure. It could actually be something else. Here could be like mercury amalgamated with lead. I know that's a common one that they make. They try to transmute philosopher's stones out of any, but what we're going to use is what I'm going to use and show you how to do is with a herbal material. And as you see here, this is called an athanor, I believe, which is kind of like a medieval alchemy stove. It's basically just a brick oven where you put the flasks and such, and then you have a little heat. So very simply, heating physical material, turning into this red stuff, and I'll show you that soon. And we have the upper sphere here for the red oil. This is oil, okay? These things here, I'm not sure if that really matters. It would make a little effect, you know, with the atmosphere, but I think it's just they wanted to get some words in there. Also, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stages. Let me try to find the first one. I think this is the first one, maybe. It looks like they're gathering something from a tree. Maybe it's not. And this one looks like someone dying. I think the spirit rising or something. This one looks like, okay, so they're distilling, maybe they're distilling the spirit here. I'm not sure. And then it's like raining down, something like that. So yeah, it's interesting whether they actually distill and they pull away the spirit, or whether they keep it in. I'm not sure. But the main thing is this is essentially a closed flask sublimation. And I always had this idea, and I wanted to try to make it like a perfect recipe so that you could make a tincture or something, or a medicine in one flask in about a day. And currently I have not really gotten it to a commercial standard yet, but I can definitely show you from a academic or educational standard. You could try this stuff yourself, and that's what this video is going to be about. Now anyway, if you're interested in the rest of the picture here, I'll quickly scroll down. You can pause it. Sadly I can't zoom in anymore. Maybe if I had a different program. Yeah, we have interesting things like these two lions. We have this fella here. I don't really know what's going on. I could kind of get a better idea if I raining white water and the sun up here, and this chicken looking thing, and an orb of darkness. Again, these are all processes of alchemy. Yeah, the darkness, the physical matter, probably the white, the water. So this is a sulfur, mercury, or water or liquid that comes off something. The goldy kind of yellowish is the oils, and the black is the actual black physical material. And this one's quite a little bit nasty. It's like some kind of weird dragon, yeah, with its cloaca. Anyway, but that's about it. So let's kind of look at this in reality. Alright, so what I'm using for this experiment, I've got a chemistry stand. It's got a clamp and a thinger there, and I've got, I think it's an asbestos mat, basically a heat-proof mat on the bottom, so the metal doesn't get too hot and crack the glass, something like that. I've got a, oh actually, yeah, I don't know if I'll put it on the stand. I'll probably just keep it on the bottom, I guess. Now I've got a alcohol lamp with alcohol 95%, 5% water,
you know, these things to get stuff into it, and I've also got some herbs, powderized herbs. So I'll set it all up and I'll show you what we're looking at. Okay, so this is, you can see it's got quite a lot of herbs. It's probably about 100, 200 grams or something. And this is all filled up, and I did decide to use this. So anyway, I will quickly light it up. And there we go. Okay, now I want to get it about centered. Just, take a look at that. Alright, now it's already starting to fog up. Now the main idea of this experiment is, as you see, we wanted a lot of, oh wow, that color change is weird. A lot of herbs in there, because a lot of herbs means maybe a lot of oil, so, you know, I will see. Anyway, yeah, I'll just let this do its thing, and it'll build up fog. As you kind of see, it's building up a fog because of like heating up the atmosphere. Eventually it'll build up some oil. Alright, so we're outside for safety reasons. Anyway, as you can see, oh shit, excuse me. There we go. You can see all that, it's starting to sweat. So that's just the atmosphere inside has recondensed, kind of like a refrigerator, how the refrigerator goes through like heating and cooling, and that's how it cools. So anyway, let me just get under here so you can't really see much. I think there's a little bit of browning or a little bit of something there where some of it, you know, digested a little bit. And every so often the lid pops up. I think it might stop popping up when it builds up enough atmosphere, because then enough liquid, because it might stick. I'm not sure if I should just lodge it in or if I should let it pop up, because for safety reasons I don't want anything exploding. Yeah, usually it would be quicker. Usually already I would have had the red oil popping up, but it's a little bit slow. But anyway, I guess this white liquid is this liquid here, you can call that the mercury. Not literal, but the alchemical mercury, because it's the liquid of these plants and the atmosphere and all that. It's also got some essential oils in it, so it's got a little bit of that sulfur, but you will see the oil or the alchemical sulfur eventually. Yeah, I can see this is kind of yellowy. It's definitely got some volatiles. If you tasted it, it would taste very strong, so I'll just leave that to do its thing for a little while longer. So that was after about 10 minutes maybe. So this one's not actually getting the red oil, instead it's just getting tons of liquid. Now maybe that's coming from the herbs, maybe, I'm not quite sure. And as you can see, it's saturating into the sides there. And in between it's forming this kind of white, misty, I don't know, some kind of combination, but it's quite interesting. As you can see, in the middle you can see, yeah, that's a better example of it. Depends where the heat is hitting as to where there is more flame and such. So, yeah, I don't know, just keep this going for a bit and see what happens, you know. Alright, so I've turned the heat off, and you see here, yeah, let me try to get that in focus, is that part's all been burnt to a black crisp, and you can see halfway in it's kind of got some of the, I'll try to get better lighting, it's kind of got like the oil saturated in it a little. It's also just around that rim, it's got more of the oils, and you can see the other side here, let me flip it over, is still I think this side got more heat. Did it? I don't know, mate. Oh shit, yeah, look, it's one big clump. Yeah, anyway, but as you can see, it's dry around here, so it didn't fully heat through, which is alright, because I just don't really have the time to, you know, fully do that. You can try that yourself though if you're interested more in this experiment. But anyway, it's kind of a little basic idea of the single flask sublimation, and I'll explain it more on the whiteboard.
Hello, so this is the whiteboard theory. Okay, so what I've essentially thought of and learned is that firstly the flame produces the upward effect of transmuting the kind of herbal material here. It takes its oils and it pushes them upwards, and then the oils go back downwards. Now it transmutes them into an air form. So what you can see is that it blackens the bottom oils, right? It blackens them. And then it transmutes them into an air, which then starts to condense on the side of the jar in a kind of liquidy oil form, a yellowy oil. Now, usually, I didn't get it in this video, but usually I would get a red oil, and that's because I was using less herbs, and it would kind of condense the oils. But instead, in this one, I got like a shower. It was like a shower of or like a raining. It was raining down essentially the oils. Then in the middle, what happens is that we get this almost combination between the herbs. The just neutral herbs create like a waterbed for the oil, which comes back down again, creating this like darkened herbal oil material. So as you see in the bottom, it's the earth; the top, it's the air; the middle, it's the oil. So yeah, you can see this is basically a cyclical, it's like a cyclical system of heating up and going down. Very interesting, I think. Anyway, now depending on where the heat is, just say if there's more heat on here, you'll have less, I believe, condensation, because I think you need a bit of cold. So if it's not enough condensation, I would say pull the flask up or reduce the flame. If there's too much, maybe you don't want enough, or maybe there isn't enough at all because it's not heating on the bottom, So you just have to adjust the flame, and you'll kind of figure it out. Now, what are the actual practical uses of this? Well, I think it's kind of like it's like a chamber to grow something, perhaps. I imagine minerals that mineral grows in this way. You would have the mineral quote unquote seed, which would be some kind of, assumably a we'll just say copper like sulfate or copper acetate or something in the middle here, and it would be heating up. Its moisture would heat up and then go down, and then I think it would start to crystallize here. And if you had the heat just right, like I used a bit too much heat, I think, in mine, where I really wasn't going to get anything, but I think this could be used in a way to crystallize, to generate crystals actually. So I need to test that out, but for now, I think, yeah, it very much could be used to generate crystals. There were also experiments in the Golden Chain of Homer which had interesting ideas of generating animals and plants and such from some kind of prime material, which was like sludgy rainwater or rainwater with dirt or something that had grown like an algae and a sludge in it. So I think that could work, but ultimately, yeah, this idea, it's not, I don't think this is an idea for generating elixirs per se. I think there might be some way to do it if you use more refined ingredients. For example, in the bottom you used you had the salt, you had the tincture, then you would just cycle it and you would increase its potency through cycling. I imagine that would work. So you would make a tincture and then you would just cycle it continuously, and that would maybe make it stronger and stronger. Or you would do it where you would have the herbs at the bottom, and it's kind of like a sock slit, but it's more like a closed sock slit, so something like that. Anyway, I think this is a basic idea which we can definitely take further and use as a more use it for experiments and creation of things. We just have to kind of figure out, change the variables. I used herbs, change the variables of different things, minerals, animal products, different types, different types of liquid. Basically, this is a generation. It's like a little reality in a bottle, little cyclical reality. Anyway, that's pretty much all. Of course, if you like this, check out links in the description. Feel free to comment. Feel free to email me if you want to buy books, astrology readings, albums, etc., etc. Check out my Gumroad and my Fiverr. And if you want to donate, feel free. Otherwise, have a nice day.